Welcome back, drawing buddies. This week we're going to drop power from Chainsaw Man. We're going to go from pencils to inks to colors. So, let's draw. Power is a fiend. She's a blood fiend. She can control her own blood, and apparently others' blood to an extent to at least keep them from bleeding out. And she's the partner of Dingy, the Chainsaw Man. This is my second attempt at power. The first attempt was pretty much the same pose, but at more of an angle and not coming at you. And I decided that was a little too plain. Although the colors probably would have helped that out a lot, but I never got that far. I just inked it. So I decided I wanted it to be a little more fun and a little more in your face. So I redrew it, and we got this. And the weird thing about doing things twice is the second time always goes faster than the first time. So power number 2 doesn't take that long. So I mentioned in the Deku video how when I draw people with big eyes, it always goes faster. It's like I naturally want to draw eyes pretty darn huge. And this is no exception. Power, her eyes and her face go together pretty quick. And it's mostly because, I went full on old school big eyes on her. That's how I used to draw everything. And I'm thinking that might just be the way I'm supposed to draw things, because when I start getting little eyes and the more natural sized eyes, we'll call them, one, I don't really like the way it looks as much, and two, I spend a lot of time adjusting them and moving them and making sure they're perfect. When I draw some big old almond eyes or something like that, bam, I draw them and they're done, and I'm happy. So I don't know. I was watching a Scotty Young video yesterday about finding your style. And he said that he always tried to draw like Humberto Ramos or Duncan Raoul or Chris Bichello. And those are three of my favorite artists too. So that kind of caught my attention. And he said he was never happy with the clean, straight look of everything. And that he would go to a drink and draw with friends and he would like the messed up, messy parts of his drawing more than the clean ones that look more like those guys. And while I definitely don't think I'm going to be like happy with the messy line work that Scotty Young does, I think that I try too hard to make my stuff look a little more mainstream than it needs to. So I got 2 drawings planned out. I'm going to do All Might. That's going to be my first thing after Horror Month. So I got a vampire after Power. And then I think I'm going to do All Might because I'm digging the whole Juju Kaisen thing. Oh, if you look back a couple seconds there, you saw the original Power because I used her as a reference on the hair so I didn't have to switch back and forth between internet pictures and stuff. So sorry about that. So I got an All Might planned for after the Vampire and Horror Month's over, which the Leatherface video, it's been out for 2 days and it's been a disaster. I mean, literally nobody watched anything. So I did shorts with Deku and they seem to be doing better. So I don't know. There might not be much in the way of shorts for Leatherface, even though we'll already be past that video when this one comes out. But I'm going to do the All Might, and then I'm going to do Velma from Scooby-Doo. So I think I just might go with it and do my big eyes and see what happens and not really think too much or try to make it look like somebody else drew it and go from there. Might be awesome, might be a disaster, might take longer, might be quicker, but we are going to find out. Also, why am I drawing Power on Horror Month? I should be doing Freddy Krueger or something. But the Chainsaw Man anime comes out this week. It'll be out the day this video drops. I'll be seeing it Thursday, the day before. And I'm excited for it. And I also took the time to rewatch Chainsaw Man this weekend so that I could brush up on the facts so I could talk about Power a bit. But I'm old, my brain's broken, and it's leaving my mind a little bit already. But at least I'll be refreshed for the movie, and I'll know a little bit about what I'm talking about in this drawing. And another thing you can see here is her face here. It's a little more squinched up and a little chubbier, and I like it. And then, of course, I change it, thin it out, and make her facial features bigger. Sorry, can't talk right now. And that's another thing I might stop doing. I might stop double thinking everything. If it looks good, I'm just going to leave it and not think I have to change it because it should be different. That's another thing that I do way too much. And I just want to, do my thing and not double think and triple think every single thing I do. So Power, she's a blood fiend, which means she's basically a demon possessing a human. And she controls her blood. I think I mentioned that earlier. And she starts out just in the woods, living her life, not caring about nothing. She's eating animals, not hurting nobody. And a bat demon comes and kidnaps the cat that she decided to randomly adopt. She was originally going to fatten it up to eat it, but then, it's cute, it's cuddly, and she grew to like the kitty. So I forgot what the cat's named already, but not important. So the bat demon steals it. So Power finds her way into town, and she joins up with the Chainsaw Man Squad, Special Division 4, I believe. And they take her in because she's rational and she's powerful and she could help eliminate the demons, and she's willing to. So that's where Power comes from. And then she also tricks Dingy's Chainsaw Man, for those of you who don't watch the anime, into coming with her to save the cat, but really she wanted to sacrifice him to the bat demon so that she could get her cat back. But Dingy's a little pervert and he wants to get the second base with her because that's what she promised in return for help, so he ends up killing the bat demon and saving the cat. And then they sort of become weird friends, even though Dingy kind of is apathetic to everything. He doesn't really care much about what's going on around him and the people in his life. He just cares about the life he has, because his life was miserable and depressing, and he was basically selling organs and body parts to pay off debts that his father left him with after his father left the picture. We won't say why, because I don't know why the Texas Chainsaw Massacre video, it literally got almost no views on any of the shorts. So I don't want to talk about things that might risk this one not getting any of those views, because I'm a coward. But he left Dingy with a lot of debt. And the mobster said, I don't care how you get it to me, you just pay it off. So he sold organs, he did everything he could, and he started hunting demons so that the Yukaza guy could sell the parts of the demons to other Yukaza for some reason. But of course, the Yukaza guy double crosses him and sells his soul to a zombie demon, which is a terrible idea. And they try to kill Dingy, but when they do, a tiny little cute dog-looking demon with a chainsaw on its nose, who he befriended and turned into a pet and he saved its life, sacrificed himself to save Dingy's life, and they kind of merge. So he has the heart of a chainsaw demon. Hence Chainsaw Man. And they're fighting to stop the gun demon, because the gun demon's out of control and causing a lot of trouble in the world. So here you can see I'm changing the nose. I changed the mouth when I had a perfectly good anime nose going on. I mean, I like this nose a lot. I'm very happy with the way Power came out. I don't want to sound like I hate the drawing. It's just, I changed too many things I don't need to change. And I got to get out of that habit. I just got to trust myself. Trust in yourself, people. Because if you don't, who else is going to? And, I shouldn't have to redraw things that I already drew that look perfectly fine. Trust in Scotty Young's advice, too. Never met the man. Maybe if he comes back to Terrificon, I'll actually go talk to him. I'm sorry for the little bit of complaining there. It's not, I just, I'm sure a lot of you guys feel the same way too. Like, what am I doing wrong? And, you're fixing things you don't need to fix. So that's why I bring it up, and I'm not going to harp on it or talk about it anymore. Or try not to bring it up in other videos unless it's extremely relevant to what's going on. Now, Power, she is like a powerful fiend because she's rational. She keeps her head together, but she's also very selfish, and she's in it for herself. So if she ends up in a fight she doesn't think she can win, or a situation that doesn't help her, she don't care. She's out. There's one thing where they're stuck in a hotel on the 8th floor, and it's always the 8th floor at 818. And they were lucky enough to find food in the hotel from previous things, and she just went and ate everybody's food. She didn't care. She was hungry. But the pencils are done, and we're off to the inks. I think the coloring took the longest on this one because, I colored over her hair and stuff, and I did a few different levels of shading and all that fun stuff. But I think it was worth it, and I think it was the right choice. So yeah, she just ate all the food, and weird tangent right there, sorry. Just cut a sentence in half. She ate all the food, and one of the guys panicking, one of the other Chainsaw Man Division 4 people, guys, he was freaking out. He's like, you ate all the food. We're stuck here. We're probably going to die. And you ate all the food. She's like, I didn't eat all the food. She's chewing it and crumbs are falling out of her face. She'll never admit to doing anything wrong either. That's another fun little part of her. She'll blame it on anybody else or deflect it, or, you know, she'll blame it on Dingy, or she'll blame it on Aki or whoever is around who she could place the blame on, even though it's obvious that she caused the problem to begin with. And a good example of her being a coward is with Dingy's first fight with the sword demon guy. He attacks and he ends up cutting him in half, like through the torso. And Chainsaw Man's just, you know, he's out of it because, you know, he doesn't have enough blood to heal himself. And she just takes off. She's gone. She doesn't even try to help or fight. She's just like, nope, I'm out. I ain't winning this one. I ain't dying. So I am leaving. And that's exactly what she does. And then they argue about it after, you know, they work it all out. And so, yeah, she's not going to have your back if she doesn't think there's a chance of her surviving it. She's just out. She's not going to try to save you. She's not going to help. She's just gone. And that's kind of part of her charm. And she also is ridiculous. It's like when they're stuck in the hotel room, she's talking about how she's going to win a Nobel Prize and take over the world through her genius, when she's really not all that smart to begin with. And neither is Dingy. And when they try to scheme, it's kind of hilarious because you know it's not going to work. Because after he gets cut in half by the katana demon or sword demon, whatever the heck it's called, he's sent to train with the best special, what are they called? Shoot, 1 second here, people. Okay, I looked it up. They work for the Public Safety Division, and they're Division 4. And Makima, who's in charge of all this, she's a weird one, but we'll get to her too. Send her to train with the best demon hunter they have. And Dingy and Power, they come up with a plan to take him down, because that's what they got to do. They got to be able to injure him to pass his training, and he just messes them up constantly, and they're doing it daily. So they make a plan to ambush him when he comes to the house to pick them up. Well, not a house, it's an apartment. But anyway, so they ambush him and he just wrecks them. And then he tells them why, and he leaves. And their plan was not great for somebody as experienced as he is. So, yeah, they're kind of idiots. But they're tough idiots, and they want to keep their lives, and they do good. Even Dingy says he doesn't care about people, but every time he's in a fight and there's a civilian around or whatever, he'll do whatever he can to make sure the civilian is safe. He won't just let the civilians get injured in the process, except for the guy in the car that he threw, but I'm sure he knew the guy was going to be okay. Because Dingy's actually pretty darn strong in his chainsaw form. He can actually lift cars and throw cars around, so he ain't no slouch, and he's very fast. And Power's very fast, too. Wonder if she can lift cars. They don't show how strong she actually is. Huh. And then there's Makima. She's in charge of the whole public safety division, and she is very cold. And she's kind of like, I'm assuming she's considered to be extremely attractive because Dingy falls for her instantly. And she also tells him that if he can kill the chainsaw demon, she will grant any wish he wants. Anything. And he's kind of a horny teenager, so we know what he wants. Well, her powers are crazy. One of the things she could do is they make contracts with demons, and the demons give them special abilities. And nobody knows what demon she actually has a contract with. But whatever it is crazy. There's a scene toward the end where they're all attacked. The gun demon sends people to assassinate as many of the public safety agents as they can, and they even get her. But whatever her contract is keeps her alive. And she has this power where she gets somebody to say their name, that person will die, but the person's name they say, they get crushed or murdered. Ooh, that's a mess. It's a nasty power. And she has no problem using it. Of course, the people she's using against are terrible people, so I mean, you can't really feel bad for them, but man, she's cold. She just tells them, go get me 30 prisoners that are on either death row or life sentences or whatever. And she just goes through them all to take care of the agents the gun demon sent. She's pretty cold, but she's really efficient. And she wants to get that job done. She wants the gun demon gone, so good for her. And it seems like Dingy, the chainsaw man, is the key to all of this, because for some reason, the gun demon wants his heart, and his heart is from the little chainsaw demon that merged with him to make him Chainsaw Man. So apparently, that's a pretty powerful demon if the gun demon fears it or feels it needs it for something. Because when they're stuck in the hotel, the demon who gets them stuck says basically, give me Dingy, and I'll let you all out of there. And some of the people consider it. But thankfully, Aki had a clearer head, and he realized that if you want him that bad, then it's a bad idea to turn him over. So they didn't. Here's another thing I redrew a couple times, is that sleeve around this arm. I first had it more open and towards you, which is what it should have been. And then I closed it off, and now I'm changing it again. See? Don't second guess yourself, people. Just draw what you think it needs to be. And unless it's really bad or really wrong, change it. But if not, leave it. I'm sure it's fine. So yeah, Aki, he's another one, man. He's tragic. He's got like a couple years left to live. He has this sword where every time he uses it to stop a demon, it cuts time off of his life. He's merged with the fox god, but he wants the gun demon dead because the gun demon killed his family, and he'll stop at nothing to get it done, even though he knows he can't do it himself and it's a fool's errand. He's still going to do his best to follow through on that promise to avenge his family for the gun demon doing what he did. So good for you, Aki. And Aki loses the fox demon because the fight with the sword demon, the fox isn't happy, so it stops answering Aki, and Aki almost dies anyway. So he ends up forming a pact with a future demon. And the future demon pretty much asks for nothing because he knows that Aki is going to die in the worst way possible. And Aki doesn't care. He just wants to avenge his family. He's like, whatever, dude, get in my eye. Because I need to get my job done. So, yeah, Aki's kind of a badass. So I got a question here, people. Do you want to hear more about the drawing part of these things or more about the characters? Because I tend to talk more about the characters because the drawing stuff is just kind of on screen. So if you're watching it, I'm assuming that it's self-explanatory. But I don't know. I'm drawing the picture. I'm kind of know what I'm doing. But if there's things you guys want to know about, let me know. And we'll talk about it or figure it out. And her hair. Oh, I should have done her hair a different way. I did it in black and white, and then I colored over it. And while I like the way it came out, it definitely would have been easier if I just started with the colors, at least on the inside of her hair. I had the same problem with Supergirl. I ended up changing her hair a lot, and that was the longest part of the drawing. I think it's the longest part of this one, too, even though there's a lot less to it. And I also apologize, my throat's a mess. I keep having to stop and start over again. It's really raw. So if I sound bad or there's a lot of weird cuts in the video, that's because my throat gives out and I have to take a drink and start over again. Maybe I start drinking tea when I do these things. It might actually help. I do like me some tea. I like black tea. I like green tea. I like Earl Grey. I like weird fruity teas. Not that you guys care what kind of tea I like. But I don't drink tea very often. I probably should drink it more. I drink iced tea all the time, but that's just like drinking a soda. It's just full of sugar. It's not that good for me. And also on Power's shirt here. See, I'm all over the place today. Like I fill in all of the wrinkles in the shirt black, but I end up going over most of them and changing them to blue because I really like the new feature that I found. Well, it's not new. It's probably been there forever. It's new to me feature that I found in Clip Studio because I watched some tutorials. So I'm like, there's got to be easier ways to do a lot of this stuff because I'm a Neanderthal and I do everything the hardest way possible. Neanderthal, sorry. Actually, that's probably wrong too. A friend of mine corrects me every time I say it because I call myself a Neanderthal a lot. And those of you who know how to use Clip Studio are like, oh, you idiot, that's been there forever. How could you not know that? And it's because I learned how to use Photoshop version 4 and I pretty much use all the old features and don't really dig much into the new ones, because if the old ones get it done, why bother with the new stuff that do everything twice as fast? At least that's the way I look at these things. And I know it's not the right way to look at these things, but yeah, you make a layer above the layer, you click this little box, and then anything you color or change just covers that layer. It doesn't go into the other layers. It's kind of neat. If you uncheck that box, you just see a mess all over the place of what you drew, but when you click that button, it only shows what you colored over the layer beneath it, and it definitely makes coloring a lot faster. Problem is, I had to put a lot more layers, and my iPad's a little old, so it doesn't like it sometimes. It gives me a little white warning that says, hey, slow down. We're trying to catch up here. Or sometimes it'll just drag and just sit there for a minute waiting to think about what I just asked it to do and if it wants to do it or not. So I think sometime next month I'm going to try to get myself one of those new M5 iPads. I just don't know which one yet. Oh, look, we're done with the inks. And now it's time to color power, the fun part. It doesn't really look like there's much to our colors, but for some reason it just takes a while. Mostly because I got to trace in the hair, and I changed my mind on the shadowing a lot. I decided to add the blue to the shirt instead of just leaving it all inked black and white. So, when you add all these little things in. And then I really like the little painting background that I have. I've been watching these videos of people who getting called out for using AI art and things, and people tracing other people's work, and then they show examples, and I'm like, ugh. But the one thing I am guilty of, and I don't feel bad about it at all, is that I will use textures that I Google to find on the internet, like the background for power here. I wanted like a brushed ink grungy texture. And I don't really have a way well, I do have a way to make my own now, but it would just take forever. And one day I'm just going to sit down and do that because I really want to use my own textures. But I'll just steal them from the internet and use those. I make sure that I use royalty-free ones, at least I hope I am, because those are the searches I'm using and the descriptions say. So if I ever steal your background, I'm sorry, and tell me, and I'll give you full credit, or I'll even take the picture down, I don't care. And also, I have no problem using photographs and turning them into black and white, sort of drawing things and putting them behind characters. It's something they used to do back in the old days of the comics. They used the photostat machine, and they actually showed me that in art school, so oops. But, I like the look of it sometimes, not all the time. But sometimes it's the perfect fit, and it saves you a heck of a lot of time having to draw some buildings. So, I talk about it in the Batman video if you want to see how that's done. And I think I do it in the Spider-Gwen video, which I got to draw another Spider-Gwen because I don't love that old Spider-Gwen. But it's one of those things where, I'm finished. I got to get a video out, so we're putting it up. So I'll probably do another Spider-Gwen video within the next 6 months or so. I think I'm going to do a Miles Morales or a Spider-Punk soon. I don't know which one. Which one would you guys rather see? Miles Morales or Spider-Punk? I'm leaning towards Spider-Punk because I'm also a musician, and I'm kind of obsessed with punk rock and garage rock right now, so Spider-Punk might be my winner here. And if you're wondering, all the music you hear in the background, that's me. I wrote all that stuff and played everything except for a few guitar parts and solos. And one of the songs is almost punk rock. Not really, because, I'm not very punk rock myself. I play the piano, for Christ's sakes. But, it is what it is. So, yeah, that's why I don't get copyright strikes in these videos, because it's my own music, and I actually put it out on an album with me singing, and it's, singing's not great, but I got through it, and that's the important part. And I was arguing with a friend of mine over music for the background. He's like, use AI music, and I'm like, no, I'm doing an art channel, and I want people to draw and use their talents, and using anything AI kind of goes against that whole idea. If you want to use it, that's fine. Go for it. AI's, it's not for me, but for some people, do your worst, man. If it's your thing, go for it. Just don't pass it off as your own, because you're not really doing, you're listening to prompts and you're regenerating things to get it the way you want it, but it's still mostly generated by the computer going off what you feed it. So, I guess you'd call it a collaboration, but I like to do things the old-fashioned way because, I I spent all these years learning how to play the piano. I spent all these years learning how to draw. So why would I want to let the computer have all the fun when it's something that I want to do myself? You know, if you can't draw and you want a certain image and you want to use AI for it, go for it. Just know that it's trained on other artists and you're sort of stealing their work. And if he watches this part of the video, I'm sure we're going to have a long conversation about it because he will not agree with me. But I love him. And he has his own channel. And it's funny as all hell. So if you ever want to go watch something funny and a guy playing a video game while getting high and being funny and extremely entertaining, go to Camp Kill Commentary. It's the exact opposite of my channel. So be ready for that. But eventually, I think we're going to do a talk show. And speaking of that, I am pretty close to having 500 followers, which is awesome. My watch hours are nowhere near what I need to get monetized. So if you're listening to this part and you're enjoying this, watch all my videos. I need the hours. And I was thinking I was going to be there by this week. But then the Leatherface video tanked bad. So I got to recover from that. But I think next month, or even next week, whatever, I should be hitting the 500 followers soon. And when I do, I'm going to start live streaming. I got everything I need to live stream. I just got to work out the kinks and get the audio working right and make some title cards and stuff. And when I do the live thing, it's not going to be as polished as, say, Camp Kill. He's got awesome stuff. He's got desks and talking heads. I might have a talking gorilla. Well, I'm going to have a talking gorilla. But that's going to be my avatar. But basically, I'm just going to screen capture what I'm doing now. Except I'm going to be doing it live. So you're going to see, basically, Clip Studio. I'll probably fill the whole screen because I'll be doing it on the computer, not the tablet. Well, tablet on the computer, not the iPad. And I'm basically just going to talk to you guys the way I am now. Except it's going to be live, so we could chat and we could be friendly, and you could ask actual questions, and I could do my best to answer them if I know the answer. Yeah, so it's going to be fun. So hopefully a couple of you will come join me. And this is why Power took so long, because well, not so long, it's not a long video, but the color, because I started adding layers to the shading instead of just 2 colors, or I went for like 4 on her face. I mean, the hair I didn't bother with all that, but like the shirts. And her face, I went with, I think 3 levels of shading, because I do add a highlight too. And I'm definitely glad I went with that, because if I didn't, it wouldn't have been that good. It would have been kind of flat. And one of the things I'm glad that I've been playing with and learning more about is coloring. It's things that I knew, but I was kind of lazy and not really following through on things. So now I'm actually saying, nope, I gotta do it, and I'm actually enjoying it. I thought I'd be like, oh gosh, I gotta add another level of shading. I gotta add highlights. When is this ever gonna be done? But no, because when I'm doing it, it's like, ooh, that looks cool. I dig that. Oh, nice, nice. Ooh, glad I did that. Ooh, all right, maybe if I do this here. So it's kind of one of those things. When you learn something, well, not when you learn something new, but when you're doing things you don't normally do, and it actually pays off and looks cool, it's quite rewarding, and it makes you feel good about what you're doing. At least it does for me, and I hope it would for you too. So that's why I'm taking the extra time to get all that stuff in. Now, coloring used to be my least favorite part of drawing anything. I used to hate it. It's like, oh, now I gotta color it. Man, I need to get more money so I can pay colorists. But no, now I'm actually enjoying it. And it's just part of getting things done now. And I'm glad that I am taking the time to do it right instead of being, all right, I threw the flesh color on, I threw the red on, I made a darker thing over it to highlight some things, and I'm done. Nope, now I'm actually taking the time to think about where I should put the shadows, although recently I've been doing a lot of down the middle shading, but it's also been fitting the drawings I've been doing, so what can I do? But yeah, so I'm glad I'm spending the time, the extra time, to get these things to where I want them. Like even the shirt has 2 levels of blue to it, and I actually took the time to color the shirt itself a really light blue instead of leaving it plain white, even though once I put a texture over it, it wouldn't look white anyway, but I felt it needed it because it's just a big block of white. And even though in the cartoon it's white and it looks white everywhere else, I think giving it a slight blue tint just added to it and made it a little bit better. So I dig it. Also, I usually have a problem with shirt collars, but this one actually went down really quick and easy. And same thing with this sash on her untucked shirt. I drew that like 4 times. Did not like it at all, but I'm happy with it now. I was going to put her sweater on, and I don't know why I didn't. Probably because the first few pictures I saw of her, when I'm like, all right, I need some reference for power, she didn't have it on. So that's what I did the sketches with. So if I ever draw her again, or I do like a group shot of the Chainsaw Man gang, I will be sure to put her sweater on her. I also should have put her cat in here somewhere, but too late now. It's already done. My son came by today and he helped me clean out my room with my drafting table in it and some other hobby stuff and my comics and all that stuff, because I just acquired too much stuff and it was everywhere. So we got it nice and organized. And the reason I bring that up is because now my drafting table is cleared off. So the background that you see here, I'm going to make some of my own and scan them in, so I don't have to steal them off the internet anymore. Just hopefully, I get them to look as good as the ones I steal off the internet, because it's been a while since I tried stuff like that. But it'll be a fun little adventure making a mess with black ink, and I do have a big old bottle of Speedball Super Black. And I also want to figure out a camera setup eventually to do some handings the old-fashioned way. You'll see my stubby little hands. Well, they're not little. They're a little stubby because, But anyway, that's not important. So maybe you'll actually get to see me ink with brushes and pens soon, too. Probably not too soon, but because I got to figure out a lot of stuff on that. Maybe get a laptop or something, because I have a desktop right now and I do everything on a Mac Studio. But here she is coming together, and we're adding my little filters now. The chromatic aberration and the vintage film. And then we're going to be done with power. I should go on the Clip Studio web store and see if there's any other filters that I want to try out, because I can't keep using the same 2 filters over and over again. While they look cool, it's going to get old pretty quick. And, there's also a Gaussian blur on here, and then I erase it around her face with a soft brush so you see the detail on her face and everything around her is soft. But yeah, that's it. Power is done. Thanks for joining me this week. Next week we'll draw Vampire and then Horror Month. And like and subscribe and all that fun stuff. And I'll see you next week, so go draw something.